Yes. Big up. Arsenal 3, Dynamo Zagreb nil. A great performance and a convincing performance tonight as far as Arsenal were concerned in the Champions League. And it is looking rather good for the Gunners in the new format of the Champions League table right now. It's getting very interesting. It's geared up to be a very interesting last game, in fact, next week, because there is a lot that can happen around this top 24. Those that are going to miss out and those that are going to make the top 8. It looks as if Arsenal are definitely going to be in with a chance of confirming their place in the top 8. Match reaction for you people. Look, I didn't go to the game tonight, so it's good for me to actually get on early. Normally, I'm getting home around about midnight and I'm going live with you guys, but I thought tonight I'd do something a little bit different and get on straight away and talk about the game. Rather convincing performance. I thought the domination was there. I thought everything that we wanted was coming into fruition. We got a chance to rotate. We got a chance to actually play some of the kids tonight, and we're going to get more on that. More on the player performances, more on the team performance and individuals I do want to mention. That's for sure. I had to sit in the warm tonight, try and drink some Lemsip and try and get myself fit and fighting because I've got a busy few days coming up. So, hopefully I'll be starting to feel a little bit better in the coming days. So that's what I do hope. Parents were there tonight. They said it was very convincing. I was talking to them throughout the game. A good performance. We're going to get into it. Before we do that, please make sure you show some love to Reality Raffles. Click on the link in the description. 99 pence for a raffle ticket. FTM10 is the code you need for 10% off. And you can win a chance to get tickets to the Emirates or any football stadium of your choice. £500 match day experience is on offer, people. Draw is on Friday. This is going to be running weekly, so please make sure that you get involved with this one. Also, make sure you click on the link in the description or pin to this comments or scan the QR code top left to get to the Hippodrome on Friday. We will be there. And this is a lit panel. D, Lawless, me, Judges, Deji, and Don are going to be there. There's a Q&A, a meet and greet, prizes to be won, and a panel show live. So make sure that you are part of the audience. If you would like to come and watch, then please do make sure you click on the link now in the comment section, pin to this comments in the description, or just scan the QR code top left here, and you can come along. Bring everybody, bring your friends, bring your family. It'd be great to meet all of you there. As for Arsenal, let's get back to it, shall we? Team selection. Do you know what? Let's go for a super chat first because Netweed's in. Netweed is in the house. With flat track bullies. Seen all this before countless times. First decent team we face, or just the worst buying side for 20 years, it's curtains, but our fake fans get giddy anyway. Well, let's wait till we get there first, Netweed, because I do agree last season it got to that stage, but let's actually make sure that we do qualify first of all. It looks like we are going to. It does. It looks like we're going to be fine. I've got to say that. It does look like now we've convinced ourselves that we're going to be fine for the top 8. It's got to go horribly wrong over in Girona for us not to get through now in the top 8. And the Champions League form, again, a bit like last season, really, has actually been more pleasing than the Premier League form. I mean, the Inter Milan and Atalanta results weren't pretty, but it weren't shockingly bad. We lost 1-0, we drew 0-0. It wasn't like we got hammered in either of those. And in most of the home games and the other away games, we've won convincingly against PSG, Sporting Lisbon, Monaco. And now we've just beaten Zagreb quite comfortably. And quite comfortably is an understatement, to be honest. I mean, Zagreb, yeah, we were quite sloppy at the back in the first half. And then the second half, they had a few half chances. But let's be real, they weren't great in the final third, just like us, to be fair. Big up to Jay. I hope you're well, bro. I guess you were there tonight, mate. And I love your picture, by the way. My mum was telling me about the story. That is just absolutely hilarious. So big up to you, bro. Look, I've got to be real. The team tonight didn't actually surprise me. I thought tonight there was an opportunity to rotate. And I suppose with Wolves and Manchester City games coming up and Girona, there's an opportunity for us to rotate. And I think the games against Zagreb and Girona are the games that we're going to do that with. I think the Premier League form is, we put ourselves in a bit of a tough situation, whereas the Champions League form, we've actually seemed to have done ourselves all right. That's what I believe anyway. So we get to the stage of potentially rotating. Raya comes in goal, which I didn't expect anything less. Then you've obviously got the back line tonight, which was interesting. Finally, he has decided, well, I thought anyway, Thomas Partey can't play right back. Let's play Timber there. Let's bring Kivior and Gabriel in. And then at left back, he actually decided to go with Zinchenko. So he has rotated there, but he's also surely worked out that Thomas Partey can't play there. Lo and behold, what happens? Timber comes off. Wise decision, because he's obviously the next one that needs a little bit of rest. Thomas Partey comes on at right back. So he's playing there again. We'll come on to that in a minute. Look, in midfield, I didn't expect to see anything different, to be honest with you. I thought that he might mix it up. Normally, Jorginho comes in when there's rotation on the cards. Declan Rice playing in that further advanced position in the 8, I thought was good tonight. We'll touch on him. Martin Ødegaard continues in that attacking role. And then in the front three, Sterling gets the nod, Martinelli and Havertz. Look, we started the game so well. We were dominant throughout the game. And if I'm honest with you, the first few minutes, we just looked like we were going to score 2, 3 or 4. Martinelli tonight, fair play. I thought he was one of our better players. And I thought he was good against Villa, actually. But tonight, I was really impressed with him. I just thought that he looked really threatening. The flair was there. He was allowed to express himself a bit more. His delivery was a lot better. His passing forwards was good. His thinking was good. His work, his telepathy and his understanding of working with both Kieran Tierney when he came on and Zinchenko was pretty good. And down that left-hand side, I thought he was a constant nuisance and threat all night. And I don't think they could really handle him, to be honest. I thought they were really struggling. And Zagreb are a team that have obviously got quite a lot of potentially good young players. And I felt tonight that they could have actually shown a little bit of glimpse of what they've got. But I thought Martinelli was too much for them. Thought he was really impressive. And the ball goes into Kai Havertz. Now, we've seen Kai Havertz get in great positions. And to be fair, this was one of them. Now, most greedy, selfish strikers try and do something there. But he's seen in front already. He's anticipated. And he's 1 or 2 moves ahead. And the layoff to Rice is fantastic. I've got to give Havertz credit there, to be fair, because it was a lovely, lovely touch from him. Great assist and a superb finish from Declan Rice, who I've definitely been a critic of in terms of that position. But tonight I thought was really good. And he's actually impressed me now against Man United. I thought he was one of the better players that we had. Villa now, and then obviously now against Zagreb tonight in that advanced role. Look, he can play it, but I don't like him there. I prefer him in the 6. Obviously against Villa, he was in the 6 and I like him there. But I thought he was really good tonight. And against Zagreb, you kind of believe that he's got the potential to express himself a bit and you'd expect him to have a better game. And that's exactly what they did. I thought he was really good tonight, Rice. He was one that definitely shone and it was a standout player for me. His deliveries, by the way, they are really good. But I don't know how he kept his cool while people are throwing beer cans at him and plastic mugs and pint glasses at him. Because let's be real, that is shocking. That they got to do something about that. You know, like we're not allowed to bring in empty beer bottles like that. So why are they? Why are the away fans walking in with them? You know, they're all throwing them at him, plastic cups at him. It's wrong. Absolutely wrong. That's what you get on a European night, man. That's what you get on a European night. It's always a little bit different, isn't it? It's always a little bit different. Big up to everyone that's here. Smash the likes up, please, people. Make sure you do me a favor and hit subscribe as well, please. We haven't even got to 100 likes yet, and there's 300 people in here. So make sure you all hit the like and subscribe. There's only 2 buttons I need, and those 2 are free. Hit the like and the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a penny, and it does a lot for the channel. Big up to yourselves, every single one of you. We go 1-0 up, and if I'm honest with you, we were knocking on the door. I thought Martinelli showed quality. I thought Rice, Gabriel had a header in the first half that I thought he should have done a lot better with. But I have to mention Raheem Sterling because I was really disappointed again, people. I was really disappointed. We're talking about him coming up against quite a young, inexperienced Dynamo Zagreb side that we are convinced we're going to beat comfortably, and we end up doing it. And I just think everything he did was poor. It didn't really come off. He looks sharper than he is, if that makes sense. The running on the ball and the running off the ball and the fact that he shows a little bit of expressive kind of flair. He doesn't really do anything with it. There's opportunities for him to drive forward. He goes against it, cuts back inside, turns round. I'm not finding it a good signing at all. And I was asked to give it time, and I was asked to say that Sterling needs time and someone to be loved and somewhere to be loved and have a shoulder to cry on. I don't think at 29 you should need that. You should be an experienced head that's going to take you and your team across the line, and he's not going to do that. He's been a bad signing, and we just have to accept that. I thought he was one of the worst on the pitch tonight, I've got to say. So we have a fairly convincing kind of first half, really. And then in the second half, I didn't really think it was any different. I thought we were really good going forward down that left-hand side again. I thought Martinelli, again, one of the best performances in the second half too. A brilliant delivery, by the way, for Kai Havertz. It's a great header. Don't take anything away from him. Kai Havertz walks away with a goal and an assist tonight, and I didn't actually think was outstanding in anything that he did. But he gets the goals and assists, which is fine. When I look at what has happened from a Martinelli perspective. He's put in 2 fantastic deliveries tonight, and that's something that I don't think he always gets credit for, and he's definitely not recognised for. I think Saka and Rice are known for delivering superb set pieces. Martinelli's not one of them, and when he has taken corners, he's been kind of slated a bit, really, because they've been nowhere near the level. But I thought his deliveries tonight were really good. Really, really good. And I've got to say, I was impressed. I thought they were really, really good from Martinelli tonight. So he was one of my favourite players on the night. I thought he was excellent in everything that he did. And yeah, he wasn't beating his man all the time, but he was making an absolute nuisance and causing havoc for him. And I thought, yeah, when you make a nuisance of yourself, people get worried. People start to get shaky. People start to, you know, they start to get a little bit sort of nervy around every time you get the ball. And I thought that Martinelli did that tonight. And fair play. Declan Rice has got to score. He's got to score. It's a bit of a sitter, if I'm honest. He's got to do better with the header. He actually manages to kind of head it away like a defender, as opposed to putting it in. But at 2-0, we're looking fairly comfortable, and then we start to make some subs. Now, obviously, Trossard and Tierney come on. I've got to say, I thought both of them looked pretty good. Kieran Tierney, by the way, I love the way he works with Martinelli down that left-hand side still. I thought it was a really good pass in from Ødegaard for a couple of chances he's had. He's done that quite a lot now since he's come into the team of late. Kieran Tierney's delivered a wonderful ball across the box against Newcastle. He's delivered, and no one was there. He's delivered a wonderful cross into the box for Ødegaard, who missed against Manchester United. And he did the same tonight. I've got to say, he gives us something different. And I know he's going to Celtic and he's not going to be a part of Arteta's plans, but every time he's come on, he's proved he's still got talent, that's for sure. And at 27, I think they're getting a decent left back. Trossard, likewise, I think he showed glimpses that he's a brilliant sub to bring on, and he's still part of this squad. So that's good, because I've always liked Trossard. I just think he's going through a bit of a dip, if I'm honest. And when he's on it, he's on it. When he's not, he's not. And that inconsistency is what's going to cost him, really, in his long-term future at the club, in my opinion. Obviously, good to see some of the youngsters come on. Good to see Butler Ødegaard tonight, because we don't know much about him. He's been on the bench for a few weeks now. And it was good to see him get on, albeit for a couple of minutes. Maybe it could have given him a bit longer, Mikel. Crikey. But there we go. But the one that really lit everything up was Nwaneri. Nwaneri tonight, I mentioned Thomas Partey earlier. I'll mention it again quickly. Him coming on at right back, I don't like. But if you're bringing off Timber, I don't quite know what else you can do unless you go and play Kieran Tierney over there. So Partey come on. Partey was okay, right? I don't like him at right back, but so be it. But Ethan, yeah, this kid's a baller, man. This kid is a baller. Honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of running out of superlatives for how highly I rate this guy now. And people might go, all right, calm down. It's only Dynamo Zagreb. No. It's not that. It's not that. It's not about the opposition. It's about what he's doing in comparison to everybody else on the pitch at Arsenal. Because I said this when Ethan did this against Preston and Bolton in the Carabao Cup. Everybody started laughing at those names. But none of the other players were doing that on the pitch in an Arsenal shirt. It wasn't like Rice was doing it as well. Calm down. We're all smashing them. Preston, Bolton. Then it went to the league games where he did it against Brighton and scored the goal. Then he got an injury. But I see tonight he's come on and he's lit up the place again. He did it against Southampton and Leicester when he came on. He lifted the Emirates crowd and it gave us a little bit of that, what we needed. And I must say tonight, I did think that again. I thought at 1-0, that ain't good. At 2-0, you start to relax a bit. And at 3-0, with Martin Ødegaard putting in at the end, is fantastic. But Nwaneri, I've got to say, very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. And I just think his drive on the ball is so impressive. On that right-hand side, he does look Saka-like in terms of the way that he plays and cuts inside. Now, I'm not saying we don't need Saka now, and hooray, he's come to save the day. We're going to miss Saka. But if you had to put somebody in there that played as similar to Saka as possible out of everybody, it would be Nwaneri. He's more similar to Saka than Gabby Martinelli, Sterling, Jesus, Trossard. He's definitely the one that we need to play over there. And I just love his desire and passion. I just think everything that he did tonight was superb. And I think it come off. And I think one thing I loved, actually, there was 2 or 3 things I really liked, actually, apart from his general play and the confidence and fearlessness he has on the ball. He chases down everything. He never gives up. He never says die. And I think what he does, which was great, there was 2 things he did that I loved. The first one was defensively, how good he was when he come back and he was winning tackles. And the first thing that I saw which I absolutely loved, was that he ran and he ran and he ran and he kept that ball in when everyone thought was going out for a goal kick. And I thought, do you know what? You actually are a baller. You've got everything in your locker to be a sensational footballer. And I don't know where his position is. I think naturally it probably is an attacking 10. Maybe he can play on the right as well. But I'd actually be really tempted when everybody's fit to try Ødegaard and Nwaneri in the same team, with Ødegaard in that attacking 8 and Nwaneri in the 10. I really would be really happy to see that, because I saw Monday Night Football with Jamie Carragher and Emmanuel Petit. Big up to Emmanuel Petit, by the way. And he was talking about the space that was lacking and how Ødegaard should have been in there, but he was so deep. I think that's because he's actually not an attacking 10, Martin Ødegaard. And people think that he is, but when you look at it, nah, he could quite happily play in the Bernardo Silva type role, and we go and get the Kevin De Bruyne. Now, I'm saying that Ethan Nwaneri could be an option there, but we do need to go and buy somebody. Maybe Cunha could be that guy if we were to get him in. Maybe we could discuss his position. But Florian Wirtz, somebody like that coming in as that 10, Ødegaard dropping a bit deeper, getting on the ball a lot more, and giving our left-hand side some flair, which is what I think we need, I think could be perfect for Arsenal. I really do. We've been trying to look at that number 8. It can't be Xhaka, it can't be Marino, it can't be Rice, it can't be Havertz, it can't be Fabi Vieira. Trossard and Smith Rowe have played there before. Why can't it be Martin Ødegaard and we go and get a proper attacking number 10 that's going to give us the goals and assists, like Florian Wirtz, for example? So that's the way I see it, man. That's just the way I see it. And hopefully we're in a position where in the summer we can actually look at that potentially, because I just feel like we need to now. I just feel like we need to. And I am in a position where I would like to see Ødegaard's long-term future. I didn't think he was amazing again tonight. I've got to say, I didn't think he was bad by any means, but I didn't think he was outstanding. At the moment, I just don't know that I see a fit Martin Ødegaard. I don't know that I see a Martin Ødegaard. I don't know that we're going to see the best of him for a few weeks yet, or a few games yet. Just don't look right to me, guys. I don't know what your thoughts are about Martin Ødegaard. I just don't think he looks quite on it at the moment. He went missing against Villa. Don't think he was outstanding in the other games where he's played since he's come back from injury. You definitely know when he's on and off the pitch, that's for sure. But I look at Martin Ødegaard and I think, yeah, it's not the same player that I've seen in the last 18 to 24 months. There's something off. Now, I don't think it is just Bukayo Saka missing. I think it's more than that. I think it's something within him. I don't think it's anything to do with him having a kid. A lot of people have suggested that. These people are multi-millionaires. They get support. They've got their wife with all their support they need. Their profession is to play football. Now, when you're a dad and you want to have a baby and you want to, have kids and spend time with them, of course, that can affect your tiredness. But let's be real, like these guys are multi-millionaires. So I don't think it's down to that. I think it is down to his fitness coming back from that injury, which was a bad one, and also a little bit of illness. Saka is a big miss to them as well, because when you're looking about what Saka does, and I've said this before, they put 2 or 3 men on Saka usually. Yeah. Then what happens is Ødegaard's got all the space in the world. He hasn't really got that at the moment, and he seems to be dropping deep. He's not in that final third of as much Martin Ødegaard. We saw that on Monday Night Football. Jamie Carragher was highlighting it. So, yeah, Martin Ødegaard needs a better game. He does. He needs to start getting into it now. I don't want to see Martin Ødegaard continue these performances. And look, he's a great footballer. I've said it. I like him. I don't think he's one of the best number 10s we've ever had by any means. I think there's a lot of number 10s that are better than him. But I don't feel like he's the player that we want to be seeing right now. I think we need to see more from him. And in 2 years ago, he got 15 goals, an unbelievable amount of assists. This season, I think it's 3 assists and a few goals, but nothing to write home about. I know he's been injured for a lot of that, but he has been back for a while now. When did we play Chelsea last? That was the first game he come back. Wasn't that in November? So he's had November, December, January to get fit and start scoring, and he's not really doing that, Martin Ødegaard. So, look, I think he's a great player. I think he will come good. I'm not worried about it. I just need to see his performances pick up now. Like, I really do. I need to see him picked up. Couple of super chats here. Netweed says, yeah, our fans will knock City. Where's our Champions League? We'll come on to that. Netweed also said, Ødegaard's had 15 goals to 3. Arteta ruins another player. Look, I don't think it's got to that stage yet. I don't think Arteta has ruined Ødegaard. I think that there's been games where he's been phenomenal because of Mikel Arteta. I think there's been games, certainly at the moment, that some of our tactics has definitely nullified players like him and others. But tonight, I don't think it was a tactics problem. I thought we were good. I thought we were dominant. And we got the 3-0 win, which is what I predicted and what I believe we should have done. So there was a lot that I needed to see tonight and was quite confident with. Ethan was one of the promising factors, and it's so good that he's come back. I actually do think he starts for us right now on the right-hand side. For me, right now, the front three is Nwaneri on the right. Left would be Martinelli, so I thought he's had really good games in the last couple and definitely picked up his form. And then obviously, as Kai Havertz at the moment is the only one that we've got up top until we buy a striker. More on that in a minute. So look, I do think there's an opportunity for us there to actually take a look at what we could do with Nwaneri coming back into this mix. We've got Sterling and Trossard that can still be players that can come on from the bench. We've obviously got Marino who's there. We've got Partey and Jorginho that'll give us a little bit of strength in depth. And then obviously at the back, we've got players coming back now like Calafiori and obviously Kieran Tierney and Zinchenko are there now. So really, we've only got Ben White, Tomiyasu, Saliba and Saka that are out. Now, Saka, they're saying around March time. I think it might be longer than that, if I'm honest. I think March is very optimistic. Ben White, he isn't far. Tomiyasu, I've given up on. They say that he's back soon, but they've been saying that since August. Calafiori now back, and obviously Saliba, they're penciling him in for around about the Manchester City game. Now, what we need to be careful of is we need to be careful of Gabriel and Timber right now, which is why I was happy that Kivior played, and I was happy that Timber come off. And if I'm honest with you, at the Wolves game, we all know they've both got to play. But if it does look like results have gone our way against Girona, and I think we have to lose by like 4-5-0 against Girona for us to go out now, then I would actually use the opportunity now that I've seen what the table's like, to rest a few players. And I would just play a couple of the rotated players in our defence now. So Kieran Tierney, Calafiori, Zinchenko, Kivior, that kind of back line, just because that gives Timber and Gabriel a complete rest, which is what they need. They can't continue to keep playing this amount of games. We saw both of them go down tonight. Yeah. Timber was late on the challenge. He got a book in. He had a couple of sloppy moments, actually, in the first half, particularly. I thought it was a real bad spatial awareness moment with Timber where actually Kivior recovered quite well. I think he's playing a lot of games. And if he goes down crocked, I mean, people are laughing now saying, oh, well, Ben White will come back, Timber will go out, and Gabriel will get injured and Saliba will come back. And it does feel like that this season, doesn't it? That when one comes back, the other one gets injured. We've seen it all season. Ødegaard's out, and then he comes back. Saka goes out, and then they come back. Jesus is then out, and then Saliba's then out. Ben White and Tomiyasu both out again in the same time. When we had Saliba and Tomiyasu out at the same time a couple of years ago. Look, I think it is one of those. It is one of those. It is one of those where we have a little bit unlucky with injuries. I can't deny that, but I think a lot of teams have, and that's why we needed a squad in the summer, man. That's why we needed a squad in the summer. It's crazy. It really is. But look, it's what it is. We got to deal with it. We really have to. Big up NetSuite for all the super chats. I really appreciate those. Make sure you hit the like, people. Make sure you hit subscribe. Look, we're going to go into what is the Champions League table. Let's actually share it on screen so everybody can see it. It's looking pretty good as far as Arsenal are concerned. It really is. Liverpool absolutely flying, winning every single game. I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal in the Champions League. That is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Barcelona, likewise, have quite comfortably qualified. And then it comes down through third all the way down. And it looks now as if there's an opportunity for things to get very interesting. We've got Liverpool and Barcelona who are comfortably through. In my opinion, the two best teams in Europe right now. And I'm not just saying that because they're the top two. I think in their leagues, respectively, and certainly in the Champions League, they've proven that. Then you've got some very interesting teams. Very, very interesting teams indeed, in terms of the managers and how they get through these cup games. Liverpool and Barcelona aside, Arsenal, you've got Inter Milan under Simone Inzaghi, Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone, and then you start to look at the Italian clubs, Milan and Atalanta. And then at the moment in the top 8, there's Leverkusen joint on points with Aston Villa Monaco, Feyenoord, Lille, Brest, and then it goes to 12 points with Dortmund and Bayern, who lost tonight, by the way, Bayern. And then Real Madrid and Juventus. Some of these teams that are on 12 points, they're all catching up. Real Madrid won tonight and they needed to. They won 5-1. But you keep going down. PSG and Sporting have crept in to the top 24, as have Stuttgart. But look who drops out. Right now, City are out. Zagreb, Shakhtar, Bologna, Sparta Prague, Leipzig, Girona, Red Star Belgrade, Sturm Graz, Salzburg, Bratislava, and Young Boys. Now, I don't expect anybody to go through between, so Young Boys, no, Bratislava, no, Salzburg, Sturm Graz, Red Star Belgrade, Girona, Leipzig, Sparta Prague, Bologna, Shakhtar, Zagreb. I don't expect any of those to go through. I think most of them would probably accept that it would have been pretty much a miracle to get any of those teams through. But Manchester City need to go through. Stuttgart and Sporting, PSG and Benfica, they all have to go through. They have to the last 16. Some of the teams that have really surprised me, Club Brugge, PSV, Celtic, they've surprised in a good way. Those that have surprised in not such a good way have been Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and Juventus, who are all struggling at the moment. You've got Brest and Lille, who I think would be fairly confident that they've got a chance of sneaking in. And then Feyenoord and Monaco and Villa are still fighting for that top 8. But right now, everyone's going to be looking at who's got who. And Arsenal have got Dynamo. No, we haven't. We've just played them. We've got Girona. Now, Girona are right down here. They're finished. They're 31st. They've won one game. That's it. One game, lost 6. 3 points, -7 goal difference. Lost their last 4. Come on. We have to. And it looks now that if Arsenal get 1 point, we're through. But we want to win. We want to win, right? We want to win. I look at it right now and think there's an opportunity for us to really get a confident, comfortable win against them, I would say. Yeah. We might be able to rotate a bit. We might be able to. But we need to be winning. We need to be winning. And I just feel like tonight it was a comfortable, convincing performance. And that gives me a lot of confidence. So look, I think we win. The goal difference has proven that it's going to take pretty near on a miracle for Arsenal to go out of this. If we lost, we'd have to lose heavily for the other teams to catch up with our goal difference, because our goal difference is decent. At the moment, our goal difference is on +12. And we've got around about the 8th, 9th positions, 10 to 14th. They're +8, +2, +2, +2. So we'd have to lose to Girona 5-0, basically, not to go through. That's what we'd have to do. We'd have to lose like by 4 or 5 goals. We're through. We're done. Right? It's done. So we can afford to start to rotate in that game now. And I think we have to, because we've got Manchester City on that Sunday, on that weekend afterwards. We've got Wolves first. We have to get through that one. And then I think we just play a B team against Girona. We give some of the kids to go out there, play the guys that haven't really got much game time at the moment. Play Jorginho and Marino, Nwaneri, Sterling. Play Trossard. Give Calafiori and Kieran Tierney games. Kivior. Give the young lad in goal a chance. Give Raya a bit of a rest. That kind of thing. I think we can afford to do that. Now, the only reason I'm saying that, and I earlier on was saying we need to win both games, is because of tonight's results. So tonight's results have changed things, and it means that actually we can comfortably rotate now against Girona. We've got to be beaten heavily to go out of that. And even then, we're going into the last 16. Sorry, not the last 16, the qualifiers. But there's a few teams, Manchester City being one of them. They were 2-0 up tonight away to PSG and they lost 4-2. What has happened to Manchester City? They could go out. Now, they've got Club Brugge at home in their last game. They're going to win that, which means they're going to get through into the last 24. But they're going to have to play 2 extra fixtures on top of a really nasty league campaign where they're struggling to convince everyone they can get Champions League football qualification this year. They're in the FA Cup still, but they're out of the Carabao Cup. This could be a really nasty season for Manchester City. And I'm here for it if it happens, because I feel like it's been so long time coming for Manchester City to struggle. And finally, they are. Manchester City need to go strong and win that game. And we've got them afterwards. We can we can rest. I want to beat them. It's a must-win game for Arsenal. It's not a must-win game for City because, let's be real, they're not going to win the league. They've accepted that. They just want to try and get in the top 5, which is guaranteed Champions League football pretty much this season by like 98%. So even if they lost to us, they can still get top 5. So it's a must-win game for Arsenal because they're not going for a title and we are. So we absolutely have to. We absolutely must, in fact. Let's take this super chat. This one comes in from AMD. It says, I wanted us to spend big this window because I really thought we had a chance to finally win the Champions League. I thought the ownership would have felt the same way. Unfortunately, the ownership never rely on them to spend money, never rely on them to provide us with funds, never rely on them to show ambition to win. But yeah, we can win the Champions League. European heritage says we won't. Way we're playing says we won't. But anyone can win this competition because it don't have to be the best in Europe. People have said to me quite a few times, oh, you have to be the best in Europe to win the Champions. No, you don't. In 2005, Liverpool were not. In 2004, Porto were not. In 2012, Chelsea were not. In fact, the majority of the time, they were coming in silly places. So actually, when you look at it, we could win the Champions League because the way we play over 2 legs, when we're at it, we make it very hard for teams. We need our players back. And we need to strengthen in January. And I make it sound actually pretty much certain when I say this. I actually do think there's a potential for us to do so. I do think it's pretty much a given that we won't do something if we do not get anybody in January. Highbury Squad, big up to you, Soph. Make sure you're following Highbury Squad, man. Come on. Absolutely amazing shows at the moment. Professional, mature, clinical. Job done. Be happy, Gooners. Yeah, we got to be happy tonight, man. It's not been a happy few weeks and months for us, so let's be happy tonight. You know, we pretty much get through to the last 8. Big up to Mikel. Well, it's last 16, isn't it? But you know what I mean. We've qualified for the top 8. So big up to Mikel Arteta because in the Champions League, a little bit similarly to last year, we're actually playing pretty well. We actually are. Last season, I remember we were playing very well as well in comparison to the Premier League. So our form in the Champions League, I've been impressed, I've got to say. Sush says, come on, people, hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget tickets to the meet and greet event. You'll meet content creators and quality people. Yeah, obviously, Suj is talking about Friday night's Hippodrome night. It is going to be a blast. Please make sure that you are there, people. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you get your tickets. We're going to be here on Friday night, and it is going to be live from the Hippodrome Casino. It is not on YouTube. It will be a live audience with, so you have to come and get out of your houses to come and see us. I'm sure majority of you that live in London, it will be very easy for you to get to. Scan the QR code in the top left. Click the link in this pinned comment section now because it's here, or go into the description and click on the link and you can sign up. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. Big up to all of you that are coming already that have got your tickets. I'm looking forward to it. The elite panel that is D, Lawless Judges, Deji, Don, and myself will be hosting. So I look forward to that as well. Be great to see you guys. Look, let's move quickly to the weekend and the transfer window. First of all, the weekend. Very, very interested to see what happens with Cunha at the weekend. Not a lot of people have spoken about this. They said that we're linked with him and he's linked with a move away, and there are 5 clubs, being Arsenal one of them. I think the other 4 are Spurs, Newcastle, Chelsea and Forest. You'd like to think that if it was an opportunity for Cunha to leave, that he would look at going to Arsenal ahead of some of the other clubs that have been mentioned there. He's a player I like. I truly believe that we want Sesko. There's too much talk around the summer and now the January window and now the following summer for this to just be something that isn't going to happen. I think Sesko is the guy that Mikel Arteta really does want. And I think they're trying to get it done in January. I think there's movement there somewhere. I think there's a lot of people saying that is potentially, it's got potential to happen. But I think that we know that we might have to wait until the summer. So what we're trying to do is get in Cunha now and then Sesko in the summer. Cunha, if I'm honest, can play in a number of positions, and Mikel likes that. He can play in the 9. He's not prolific, and he's not a 30-goal-a-season striker, in my opinion. He is more false 9 again, but he is a player that's played there and scored goals for Wolves, and if he's scoring them for Wolves, he's going to get more opportunities at Arsenal. He can play in the attacking 10, and I do think he can play in the attacking 8, and he certainly can play as a wide player, whether it be wide left or wide right. So I think he's perfect for what we need right now. And, yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting signing if it happens. £60 million. is what Wolves are after, just pay it. If that's what you want, if that's who you want, and if that's what they want, let's make it happen for all parties. This will be a good bit of business. Wolves don't want to lose him because they're in a relegation battle. But if they're saying that he wants to go, they've got to let him go, because you can't have someone like that sulking whilst you try to stay in the league. Take 60 million now. You've got a few days to try and do some business to get you some guys in to actually try and keep you up. That's what I would say if I was Wolves. As for Cunha, he gets to move to a bigger club. And as for Arsenal, they get a good player. It kind of works for all parties. And I'm not saying that that should be like Wolves celebrating that he's going. But actually, when a player wants to leave and you can't keep hold of him, Wolves have done this before with Ruben Neves. Wolves have done it before with Max Kilman. Wolves have done it before with Pedro Neto. When players want to leave, they will leave. And I think this is no different. I like Cunha. I really do. He's not the one that I look at and go, wow, he's going to take us across the line. But he's certainly one that I look at and say would be a good signing. He-Man agrees. I'd go Cunha all day, Premier League ready, and can play in the Champions League. Great shout. Great shout. It is. Excuse me. My voice is still going because I really don't feel 100% well, but I'm trying, people. DJB, big up, Dan. Big up to you, mate. I hope you enjoyed the game tonight, my friend. Big up to you. Sorry I couldn't be there. Sophie says Cunha isn't a next level player. We need next level players, not like for like. And he has behaviour issues. Attitude we don't need. Oh, not a fan, Soph. Not a fan. Look, I don't know that Cunha has an attitude. I've not seen it. I know he's had a strop now because he wants out of Wolves. And I don't know that if that's a strop unprofessionally or if it's just he's asked to leave because he wants to further his ambitions as a footballer. You might know different, Sophie. You know more than me. I don't know if he's come out and said, I don't want to play for this crap team and I'm going to cause problems and you get me out and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to say he's an awful player. I'm not going to say he's a wonderful player. I think he brings up an upgrade on what we've got in terms of Sterling, which isn't hard. Trossard and Martinelli, who I think have played a little bit better in the last couple of games and hope they continue to do that. And Kai Havertz. So I think that he can come in and definitely give us some goals. Sesko is the one they clearly want. Now, I've got to be real with you. I don't actually have either of them on my list. Sesko and Cunha are players I don't have on my list at all. Victor Gyökeres is the one that I want. Isak would be the dream. If you can't get either of those, then it would be the next name, which is Victor Osimhen. If you can't get those, I would take João Pedro. And then if you can't get him, then it would be a player like a Sesko or a Cunha or a Vlahovic or Jonathan David or somebody like that. That's kind of the levels I'm at. Go for the plan A. And if you have to end up with plan C, at least you're getting somebody that you think you can work with. What I don't want to do is say, let's just get Rashford on loan and Evan Ferguson on loan and let's be done with it. That's doing nothing. That's not upgrading any of those positions, in my opinion. So at least I want the players to be upgrades on what we've got. They might not be our number one targets, but at least upgrade what you've already got in the team. That's the way I see it. I don't know what's going to happen in this transfer window. I don't know if we're going to be in a position to be excited about it in the coming days or if we're going to be dreading it. But I do know that in the summer in this transfer window, we've got to get it right in both if we want to continue to compete and get across the line. Now, if we want to continue to compete, keep it. Don't do anything. It's fine. We're competing. Top four, all done. Champions League, we'll get through to the quarters again. Cups we're out of. We don't take seriously anymore for some reason. So keep it. But we don't want that, do we? We want to win something this year. And the only two things we can win realistically right now, unless there's a miracle at St. James's Park, is the Champions League or the Premier League, because they're the only two ones we're in. Whether you believe it or not, they're the only two opportunities we've got right now. And if you think they're an absolute waste and no chance, we're going to finish trophyless. So we've got to try and do all we can to win at least one of those, haven't we? And I think the only way we can do that, guys, is by going and doing something in this January transfer window. Now, a lot of people have said to me that we only need a couple of players, and I disagree with that wholeheartedly. We look at every department and we can do something in each one. I mean, this Neto goalkeeper is bizarre. I don't really understand that one. He's not played any of the cup games and he was the backup goalkeeper. We might as well have just kept Tommy Setford. I don't know why we signed Setford and Nyland and Neto, 3 goalkeepers in one window. What was that all about? And we wanted one Garcia as well on top of that. Very bizarre. So the goalkeeper situation, again, will be spoken about in the summer. Now, we obviously know Raya is going to be the number one, but there will be another backup coming in because I imagine Neto want to go back and find first-team football somewhere at the age of 35. Then, back line, Yuri and Timber and Ben White, I'm quite happy with. but the left-back scenario needs to be sorted. Now, if I'm honest, it might actually already be sorted thanks to one of our youth sensations. It might be that Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Skelly are our two left-backs next season, and Tierney and Zinchenko move on. But then we've got a problem at centre-back because there's only Gabriel and Saliba. Kivior wants out, which means we need 2 more centre-halves as well. So that means that's a goalkeeper and 2 centre-halves. That's 3 players. We've not even got to the midfield yet. Jorginho and Partey look like they're probably going to be off. Now, Zubamendi's being linked, but that means we need 1 more. And it probably needs to be an 8. We've got Rice and Marino. We need Zubamendi and 1 more. So that's another midfielder. So that's 4 players. Some are saying that we might need to get another attacking midfielder, unless they believe Ethan, and we saw him tonight. Unbelievable. Maybe he might be the backup for Martin Ødegaard. And maybe we don't want to stall his development or block the path for him to come through if it was to go and get a Florian Wirtz. But let's be real. We really do need somebody like that. So we'll stick with 4 signings for now. And then we need a front 3. So that's 7. We need a right winger, whether it's Brian Mbeumo or Kudus or somebody like that to cover for Saka. We need a left winger, like a Nico Williams or an Ademola Lookman or a Cunha. And up top, we need a striker, whether it's Gyökeres, whether it's Vlahovic, whether it's Osimhen, Isak or Sesko. We need a striker. So that's 7 players, people, that we need. And that's quite a lot. But it ain't if you do it in 2 or 3 windows, is it? In one of our windows early days, we got 6 players. Nuntavaj, Lokonga, Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, White and Ødegaard. We need another one like that. Now, they need to be better quality than those 6, I will say that. However, they need to be that amount of quantity. We need to have we need to do 2 in this window and potentially 4 or 5 in the other. That's what's needed. And it's going to be difficult because every player that we bring in isn't going to be a £20 million player. We might get a goalkeeper that's backup and 2 centre-halves that are backups. But the others that we want in want to be starters, right? We want an 8 that starts. We want a 6 that Zubamendi's going to be 50 million if we get him. A striker's going to be potentially 80 to 90 million. And 2 wingers are probably going to be between 50 and 80 a pop. So we're looking there at potentially getting 7 players and we're going to have to spend about another 350 million. It's tough, people. It's tough. You know, are the Cronkies going to provide 350 million? Because we ain't self-sustaining wages and funds to 350 million. No chance. Look, I'm not finances. I don't do numbers. I'm dyslexic with numbers, right? I look at it and feel now there's potential for us to seriously look at our transfer business and start to worry. Because the summer was very, very worrying. If we've signed Declan Rice on 105 million and we can't now afford anyone for the next 3 windows, what sort of planning ahead was that? Unless you say, right, it's worth taking a punt on 105 million Rice because he's going to win us everything. That means we don't have to buy anyone for 2 or 3 windows. Now, I can understand if that was an Isak that came in. And I'm not saying we don't need Rice. But when you do that with Declan Rice, that is a huge amount of money to spend on a player that's going to set you back 2 windows when all he's doing is coming in and trying to dominate that midfield. He's not winning you games. Now, he took us forward last season, I thought, anyway, definitely in that 6. But it didn't get us across the line. A striker would have done that. So, look, I'm not against Declan Rice. He's one of my favourite players. But I think that's a hell of a lot of money to spend on a player that didn't get us across the line again. That's where I'm at. Big up to everyone that's here, man. Make sure you do me a favour. Hit the like and subscribe. Make sure that you've done both of them things now. We've only got 185 likes. We've got nearly 700 people in here, people. So come on, man. Hit that like button and the subscribe button. Make sure that you've also clicked on the pinned comment, which is for the Hippodrome. There's also a link in the description. And you can scan the QR code in the top left. Make sure that you're coming. Friday. Be there. Be great to see you all. You get to meet all of us. You'll get to meet Sophie Nicolau. And you'll even get to meet my mum as well. The famous Dollar Pots will be there also. So please make sure that you come along and show some support and love. It would be great to see you all there. So please make sure that you are. It'd be great to meet and greet you as well, because there'll be a meet and greet afterwards. You can come and ask us anything you want. Come and have pictures. Come and have a chat with us. Talk about football. Get a drink with us. Whatever you need. So please make sure that you're all there, because it would be great to see you. Please make sure you show some love to Reality Raffles as well. They've got a great opportunity to get people to the Emirates Stadium and to other football stadiums. £500 match day experience of your choice Please, if you do win one of these, let me know, and let me know, one, that you've won, and two, what game you're going to. 99p for a ticket is absolute cheap as chips. So please make sure you do put in for this. A lot of people are coming back to me saying they've got unbelievable prizes at reality raffles, which they have. I didn't actually realize how much they've got until I went to their website. Gigs, concerts, music. If you're into all that, as well as football and other sports, then please do make sure that you're in with a chance to win it. Go over to their website. Make sure you're following reality raffles on social media and show them some love. Look, big up to every single one of you. I really appreciate you all for being here. I really do. There's been well over 700 of you in the majority of the stream. So I really appreciate you guys all being here. And I will be back tomorrow for a couple of shows. So please make sure you join us there. At the moment, I'm going to see who's live and I will redirect you to them so that you can go and show them some love. Let me see where we're at. Who's live at the moment that we like? LB. It has to be. It has to be LB. Manchester City, he's crying, by the way. He's going absolutely mental. If you haven't seen his goals of the watch along, go and watch him, man. He's absolutely crying. It's brilliant to see a City fan get upset because he was so losing his marbles about it. Bless him. I did actually feel for him for a bit because he's one of the good guys. But my God, go and spam his chat. Yeah, go and spam his chat and just say, Dan Potts raid, Dan Potts sent me. He's having a cry with all of his Man City fans over there. So make sure you stay tuned. Don't go anywhere and literally go and watch LB crumbling and crying in front of the screen with Manchester City, who could potentially go out. Suge lastly says, just another name we need to tempt. Pedro Gonçalves from Sporting, very good player. 70 million release clause. Always been a fan. Can play across the front three, but mainly a left winger. Do you know what's a great shout? He was the guy, I think, that lobbed Ramsdale in the Sporting Lisbon game in the Europa League. Remember that? Fantastic. Absolutely superb. So that'd be a good shout. Go and show some love to LB. 12th man raid. Dan Potts sent me. Man City are trash. PSG, laugh out loud. Whatever you want to do, go over there and show him some love. So love for that, people. Take it easy. Over to LB we go. Stay tuned and just go and have a laugh. Take care, people. We're out of here. See you tomorrow.